Yeah, I haven't dealt with an e-bike that is this lightweight in quite some time. This is going to be really nice to put together. And there's what it looks like in the box. I pretty much just lifted it straight out as it sat. It's packaged good enough. And this looks like pretty standard assembly. We've just got to clip everything off and put the front wheel on, put the seat on, put the handlebars on, put the pedals on, and that's about it. Extra goodie box here includes our charging cable. Oh, that's tiny. I've never seen one that small for an e-bike before. And it looks like it's a 1.5 amp charger. Basic toolkit here. This is going to be everything we need to put the bike together. We've got our quick release axle, some reflectors, user manual, some zip ties, and our pedals. So I always put the handlebars on before I put the front wheel on, and that's because I can put the handlebars on and the seat on and flip it over like this, and then it's just a matter of dropping the front wheel down in. You just line the brake rotor up with the pads, drop that into place, and then you can slide it right down in, no problem, and then just put your axle through and you're good to go. Okay, so the whole bike is built in what feels like record time. I think from the time I opened the box to the time that I bolted the headlight on, which was my final step, it might have taken about 20 minutes to get this whole thing done. It went pretty fast and I didn't run into any problems at all. So this was by far probably the easiest bike I've ever built. Very lightweight for an e-bike. Yeah, the only thing to do now is make sure the battery's in full charge and we'll take it out and ride it. All right, here's our battery info and charger info for this bike. And I can barely make this out, but it looks to me like it says 36 volt, 13 amp hours. If this is indeed a 13 amp hour battery, that's pretty good. I was expecting it to be closer to like a 10 amp hour battery. And your charger is 1.5 amp. So it's going to take a long time to charge this battery up if it is indeed a 1.5 amp charger. And while we're at it, I went ahead and popped off the controller housing so we could get a look at the controller. And it looks like we are rocking a 36 volt, 15 amp controller. I will put a better picture of this on the screen right now. And here's our motor. 36 volt, a bunch of numbers, and I can make out 26 inches. It's going to be my best guess that this is about a 350 watt motor. All right, let's do a quick walk around of the fifth wheel. It says Discover there, but they asked me to review the Mate, which this matches the specs for the Mate, but then they said they didn't have a Mate on hand, so they were going to send me a Rover. This does not match the specs for a Rover, and the box in the manual says the fifth wheel EB17, so this is definitely a bike with a marketing identity crisis. Anyway, I'm just going to refer to it as the Discover from here on out because that's what it says down here. Anyway, what we get with the bike is pretty plain Jane. This is a very cheap 26-inch mountain style bike. That's not necessarily a bad thing though. The bike is extremely lightweight, weighing in at around 53 or 54 pounds, so compared to what I've been riding lately, this is like feather light, especially for an e-bike. The biggest Achilles heel with this bike is these cheap tires, and it looks like the brand is Denput, as in they didn't put the brand on the tire. And as far as the tires go, they are cheapo, but I would just run them until they're bald and then change them out for something else. We got 160 millimeter disc brakes front and back. They're mechanically driven, and they're plenty good enough for this lightweight bike. Basic e-bike headlight here, basic handlebars and controls, 7-speed Shimano shifter, pretty nice brake levers, actually really nice hand grips. These are very comfortable. We've got our headlight and horn control here, and this is our control screen here, and it has 3 levels of pedal assist instead of the standard 5, but it still gets up to about 20 miles per hour. Quarter twist throttle over here. The handlebars sit forward with that mountain bike posture, giving you a little bit of an aggressive stance while you're riding. My favorite thing about the bike is the 13 amp hour battery. I've only ever seen that on one other $500 e-bike, and that one had the battery integrated into the frame, so it would have been a lot harder finding a backup battery for that one, whereas this one follows the pretty standard e-bike form factor, so finding a second battery for this, should you choose to get one, should be fairly easy. And like I said, this is a 13 amp hour battery, at least that's what the sticker says, so this one should take you pretty far anyway. We got really basic plastic pedals here. Again, in the back, 160 millimeter disc brake, mechanically driven. This is a 350 watt motor, and in some of the marketing materials I've seen, it says that it's a 1,000 watt peak. Don't believe the hype on that. It's only going to reach the peak output of whatever the voltage on the battery is times the amp for the output on the controller. So that's what it'll peak at. You know, there's no way this bike's going to hit 1,000 watts. Looks like we have a 7-speed cassette back here marked Saigon. I've never heard of that before. And we've got a Shimano derailleur guard, and pretty decently sized front sprocket up here. And it has a single ring chain guard on it. And the seat here, it's okay. It's got some decent padding. It's not the greatest I've ever seen, but we could do a lot worse. And I've got the seat set to about this height right here, which is, you know, probably about a 5-inch rise. I am 5'10" with a 30-inch inseam, so that's comfortable for me. We do have a bit of rise for the seat, so we can take it up to, you know, probably about that high comfortably, and it'll go all the way down to there to accommodate the shorter riders. Overall, plain Jane bike, but what I do like about this bike is that it is super lightweight, and it does have a pretty big battery. But I've talked about it enough. Let's take it out and take it for a ride and see what kind of speed and range we can get out of it. All right, here we go. Let's take this fifth wheel e-bike out for a ride and see what she can do. Like I said, there's not much to this bike, so we'll be blowing through the features pretty quick, and then the rest of the video is basically just going to be a range test. So I got the bike at a full charge right now. I've ridden just a little over a mile getting out here, but I had it at a full charge before leaving the house, so we're gonna see what kind of range we can get out of it. And as soon as I get past this pedestrian up here, we'll do a full speed test, which shouldn't take long because this bike only caps out at about 20 miles per hour. All right, I got my phone hooked up now to test the accuracy of the speedometer, and I'm pedaling along in pedal assist level 0, and we're going to go through the different pedal assist levels, which there are only 3, so we're going to see what the bike can do and test the accuracy of the speedometer. I'm going along at about 8 miles per hour, and it looks like GPS is matching the built-in speedometer, so that's good. All right, now we're going to see what the different pedal assist levels do for us. I'm in pedal assist level 1. I'm going to pedal on my own. It takes about a full crank before the pedal assist kicks in, but I can feel it helping a little bit. It's taking a little pressure off my knees, but I can generally outdo pedal assist level 1 on most bikes anyway. Let's go up to pedal assist level 2. This is taking us up to about a little over 15 miles per hour on the bike speedometer, and GPS is reading 14. Pedal assist level 3. Oh. And level 3 should cap us out at just about 20 miles per hour. All right, we just hit 20 on the built-in speedometer, and GPS is reading teetering between 18 and 19 miles per hour. That was with pedaling, so just to, I guess, pad out the video, we're going to do a throttle only acceleration on pedal assist level 3. I don't imagine it's going to have too much oomph to it, but here we go. Again, this is pedal assist level 3. I'm not pedaling. Yeah, to throttle only, it doesn't have much power. This is a bike that is built for a coexistence between pedaling and using the motor on the bike. So that concludes our speed tests. I'm reading 18 miles per hour on GPS, 20 on the built-in speedometer, but it really took a long time to creep up there under throttle only. We're going to do a solid brake test now. I'm going to lock them up. The stopping power isn't great, but it should be fine for casual riding. I don't have the brakes bedded in yet, so they should get better over time. As far as bike comfort goes, its comfort definitely outmatches its price point. It's not uncomfortable, but it's not the most comfortable bike I've ever ridden either. This is definitely one of those instances where you're getting more than what you pay for sure. The front shock is good, not great. The overall ride is fairly comfortable. It's doing a pretty good job of absorbing bumps and dips and cracks and rocks in the road, but it does have some preload adjustment and you can lock it out, but I've just basically left it at stock, and I'm running about 40 pounds of air in these tires. Overall, it's an okay, somewhat comfortable ride, especially for the price point of this bike. So today's ride didn't include any hill climbing tests. These 350 watt bikes are just not strong hill climbers. They'll make it up hills and they'll help you get up hills, but it's definitely one of those things where you're going to have to use the gearing and help it a bit. It's better than pedaling up a steep hill on your own under your own power, but okay, so with our speed tests and brake tests and a little bit of me yammering out of the way, I put 3 miles on the bike so far. I'm going to ride down to the 7 mile mark and turn around and come back, and that's going to be my range test. When I get to the 7 mile mark, I will check in and let you know where the battery life is at. But right now, we're at 4 out of 5 bars. And I've been riding along at about 15 miles per hour in pedal assist level 2, and that's normally where I ride a 36 volt bike. All right, I am really starting to question the validity as to whether or not this is truly a 13 amp hour battery. I did some hard riding in the beginning of the ride. The first, 2-3 miles I rode at top speed for most of the ride, but after that I've been down in pedal assist level 2, and I've been pedaling pretty good to keep the energy from the battery down, and we're already at half battery life. So that's 6 total miles. Like I said, I'm really kind of doubting that this is a 13 amp hour battery after that performance. If it is a 13 amp hour battery, it is a 13 amp hour battery that loses its charge pretty fast. I'm not feeling too certain that it's going to make it down to the 7 mile mark, and then when I turn around it's going to make it the 7 miles back. Yeah, we are at half battery life at 6 miles. That doesn't encourage a lot of confidence. If the battery meter drops to 2 bars and stays there steady, I'm calling the range test, and I'm going to turn around and go back. Right now we're holding steady at 3 bars, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, immediately after I said that, the battery meter dropped to 2 bars. So yeah, we're still at 6 miles, probably getting ready to tick over 7 miles, but we're not going to make it down to the turnaround point that I wanted to make it to. So we're going to turn around here and go back, and hopefully it's got enough battery life to get us back. I mean, if I have to pedal this bike, it only weighs about 54 pounds, so it's doable. I'd just rather not. Yeah, so it just ticked over 7 miles. That is not our 7-mile mark that I wanted to make it to, because, you know, I had 3 miles on it before I started out. So yeah, we're going to turn around and go back. We got to make it back 4 miles. So to give you a frame of reference on what a 13 amp hour battery should do for us, I did a review on the ActBest Core, and it claims that it's got a 13 amp hour battery, and that bike will go like 28 miles at pedal assist level 3 on that one, which is, that one has 5 levels of pedal assist, and it'll hold 15 miles per hour for like easily 25 miles. And I think if you really ran it to completely dead, it'll take you like 28 miles. And that is with me weighing 200 pounds and carrying probably about 10 pounds of extra camera gear. And that bike is actually a little bit heavier than this one by probably about 5 pounds. Normally in my e-bike reviews, I don't like do comparisons like that and say, well, you know, that this bike did better than, but this one has just failed spectacularly in its battery performance. So it is what it is. I also mentioned that because at the time of this recording, the ActBest Core is about $100 cheaper than this bike. So I was kind of hoping that this one would just give us some spectacular performance. I mean, you know, being lighter and having around the same size battery, but a form factor in a battery that you can, you know, buy a different battery and have a backup for. But yeah, this was just not cutting the butter. Hey, so my final thoughts on the fifth wheel e-bike that can't decide what its name is. I had good feelings about the bike based on its specs, but after coming out and riding it and seeing how it performs, one, it's not really doing anything special that really offsets the poor battery performance, and two, there are other better options out there. So do I recommend this one? Unfortunately, no, and I really don't like to give that kind of review, but you know, it also is what it is. Anyway, I got about 3 or 4 more miles to get back to the beginning of the range test here, so stick around for the final range report when I get back. All right, we're coming back to the beginning of the ride here, and I've got 11 total miles on the bike, and we're still hanging tight at 2 bars, but man, that was really tweaking my anxiety. Could this bike have gone the full like 17 miles that I'd planned today? I really don't think it could have. And I think there are a few things that could be going on with this battery. Keep in mind that this battery is a sample size of 1, so it could just be a defective battery. It could indeed be a 13 amp hour battery that has just really weak cells in it, or it could be like a 7 or 10 amp hour battery that they slapped a 13 amp hour battery sticker on it. So, or it could just be a bad readout on the meter in how it's communicating with the screen here. Maybe it's got more juice than what this is showing. Let's take a look here at the test button. Yeah, the test meter on the battery is showing consistency with what the screen is showing. So as far as if this bike would have made it a full 17 miles, regardless of what's going on with the battery, I really don't think it would have made it. So that's it. And unfortunately, I just can't recommend this bike based on how it's performed with the supposed claimed specs. Thanks for watching. That's it for now, and I'll see you next time.